Hello and welcome back to the StarCraft 2 World Championship Series America Season 1 Finals live from New York City. I am Mr. Bitter, joined by Rotterdam.
Hello, Ben.
Oh, and it's so nice to be back in the saddle again, talking about some StarCraft 2. We just saw a phenomenal series between Moonglade and Ryung. The score was 3-0, but I do not think that tells the tale of just how close those games were. In every single one of those games, Moonglade poised to win it, but just unable to close it out.
Couldn't agree more, Ben. Really fun series. Certainly that first game, I think, o'clock game was like, oh my god. And then that last game is like, Ryung, do you ever die? Well, we're going to figure that out later on in this tournament, because of course we're going to see more of Ryung, but of course of Moonglade as well, as he's still going to compete for one of the slots that we're going to give away, of course, because these guys are going to try to qualify for Korea as well.
That's right. There are WCS points to be had. That means that we have not seen the last of Moonglade. Showed us some great games. How about that second game with the crazy Roach Nidus play?
It's like 16 minutes in the game, finally both players started stabilizing on 3 bases. It's like, alright, this is a nice twist.
Absolutely, absolutely incredible. Our next match is going to be a Protoss versus Protoss. I know that makes you happy, Kev.
Yes, we walked in the office yesterday and I figured out what's the broadcasting schedule going to be. I was like, I guess the other boys will open up and then we're going to get one of the Zerg games. It's like, okay, yeah, we switch it up. You guys are going to guess PvP. And I was like, yes. And Ben looked at me, he's like, it's always the same.
Never stops with you, Kev. It's going to be Hero versus Alicia. I think we can all agree that Hero is probably the heavy favorite, at least to get to the finals, or a heavy favorite, at least to get to the finals of this tournament. But in my opinion, Alicia will be perhaps the toughest hurdle for him to cross, because PvP is a tough matchup and Alicia is a very tough opponent.
Couldn't agree more, even though anyone who watches Pro League quite often will know that Hero has quite some PvP practice under his belt, because Pro League is almost like a PvP league, because most of the big stars these days, of course we have a couple of big Terran and Zerg stars as well, but Pro League, certainly in the all-kill format, is almost all about the Protoss power, man, so Hero definitely has some practice under his belt.
Hero has been holding it down, but so too has Alicia. We sat down with Alicia a little while ago to get his thoughts on his time in StarCraft 2. Here's what he had to say.
Alicia gonna head straight for the natural expansion, still wants to get damage done. Queens need to be transfusing each other right away. Alicia trying to power through to this natural expansion. Again, these Warriors have that +1 upgrade, and look at the ridiculous amount of damage that Alicia is able to do. Such a formidable army composition, but Sen forced to GG, and Alicia takes game number 3.
어릴 때부터 게임을 굉장히 좋아했었고 거의 게임만 해왔었어요. 그러다가 게이머를 해야겠다고 마음 먹은 거는 일단 계속 게임을 좋아했었으니까 군대 가기 전까지 게임만 했었고 워크래프트 스타 1, 워크래프트 3 어느 정도 수준까지 했었어요. 그래서 전역하고 나서 진로를 고민하다가 나이는 좀 많지만 그냥 한번 해보자 하고 도전하게 돼서 군대, 그러니까 한국 군대에는 좀 다른 그게 있는데 저는 특별하게 전투경찰대라고 경찰 업무를 좀 도와주는 그쪽이었는데 운 좋게도 좀 한 1년 정도는 부대 생활을 하다가 1년 정도는 이제 지구대, 이제 경찰 지구대 쪽에서 근무를 하다 보니까 밖에 있는 시간이 좀 많아서 게임을 좀 할 수 있었던 것 같아요. 그때부터 조금, 근데 그렇게 많지는 않았고 그리고 부대 생활하면서 대회 같은 거 스타크래프트 1으로 했었는데 그걸로 외박을, 그러니까 포상휴가 2번 정도 땄었어요. 일단 나이가 좀 있어서 처음에 좀 반대하시긴 했는데 제가 좀 상금 많이 좀 타서 어느 정도 집 좀 어려울 때 드리고 그러니까 좋아하시고, 근데 좀 가족은 뭐라 한마디 안 하는데 제가 좀 압박감을 느껴요. 이게 좀 성적이 좀 안 나오거나 그러면은 제 자신이 좀 그래. 집에서는 불만이 없어요. 그때 어떻게 보면은 제가 좀 잘못한 것도 많아서 그냥 게이머를 좀 그만둬야 되나라는 생각까지 했었는데 아직은 좀 아닌 것 같아서 지금 그냥 되게 많이 힘들었어요. 일단 그때 한 2-3개월? 근데 지금은 좀 괜찮은 것 같고, 일단 어쩌다 보니 원래는 그 재원이 아니었으면 그 이제 엑시움 팀 아니었으면 아마 게이머를 안 했을 것 같아요. 그만뒀을 것 같아요. 일단 뭐 얘기는 해야 되잖아요. 일단 심적으로 굉장히 편하고 존도 굉장히 이제 뭐 성적에 대해서 이렇게 뭐 압박도 아예 안 하고 같이 사는 친구들이라고 해야 되나, 일단 다 연령대가 비슷해서 일단 코치나 뭐 감독 이런 것도 없고, 일단 저한테는 굉장히 자유로운데 또 따로 성적에 대한 부담도 좀 있는 것 같아서 그래도 일단 일단 핸덕이랑은 연습 게임도 많이 해보고 많이까지는 아니고 어느 정도 해보고 레드에서도 만나봤는데 굉장히 스타일리시하고 저랑은 좀 제가 좀 많이 졌었어요 일단. 그리고 상성도 있는 것 같고 굉장히 잘하는 선수인 것 같고 제덕이 형 같은 경우에는 토스전에 굉장히 자신감이 있으시고 일단 그리고 제가 레드에서 많이 만났었는데 일단 제덕이 형 본아이디로 하시잖아요. 그래서 꽤 많이 졌었던 걸로 기억해서 별로 만나기 쉽지 않은데 일단 같은 조라 만날 것 같아요. 일단 라이벌이라고나 생각하는 선수는 없는 것 같고 그냥 재원이가 저 많이 이렇게 옆에서 제가 막 좀 쉬고 있을 때 게임 좀 해라 막 이렇게 도와주는 그런 역할을 해주는 선수? 그렇게밖에 없고 라이벌까지는 뭐 딱히 없는 것 같아요. 지금 제가 커리어 높이 싸울 때도 선수들이 다 달랐고 일단 그래서 자주 만나는 선수 딱히 없잖아요. 일단 게이머를 시작할 때 게이머를 접더라도 우승은 꼭 한 번이라도 해보고 접자 이런 마인드가 지금도 있어요. 저는 이제 우승 꼭 해보고 싶고 그때도 처음 결승 간 거라 그냥 이기다 보니까 결승이더라고요. 그래서 이번만 이기면 우승이구나 해서 했는데 좀 수호가 그때 굉장히 잘했잖아요. 지금도 잘하지만 지금도 여전히 우승을 하고 싶어요.
What an awesome insight into Alicia and his path to this WCS Season 1 final. Kev, Alicia has a very difficult opponent in front of him in Liquid Hero. You're already talking about Hero's great success in the Pro League thus far, one of the only players on Liquid to be a consistent winner on that team in the Pro League format.
I mean, anyone who has a positive ratio in Pro League is a hero in my eyes. Hey, hero, you saw what it is.
And of course, Hero, there's another fun statistic that we have that we can talk about with Hero involved. It also involves you and me.
Yes. Like, it's been a while, guys, that Mr. Bitter and me have been offline casting events together. Of course, we did some stuff from the NHL studio and stuff. But the last two big events that Mr. Bitter and me cast together were back in December, Ben. And, well, there was something that definitely stands out in those two events.
That's right, Kev. We casted some DreamHack. We casted some North American Star League Finals. And in both of those tournaments, Hero was the winner.
Yes.
So in major events casted by Rotterdam and Mr. Bitter, Hero is undefeated.
Well, he was at the Season 3 finals as well. But if we go back since
in major events since November of last year.
Yes, that's true. Even though there were only two of them, but those were two big wins for Hero. Of course, December was a fantastic month for him. But Ben, as silly as it may sound right now, because Hero had so much success in the past, I feel right now Hero is perhaps playing the best StarCraft that he's ever done. If you watch his games in Pro League, he's playing so exceptionally well, and I'm really expecting big things of him. And for me personally, Hero is the big favorite going into this weekend.
I completely agree with you, but as we were saying previously, I think Alicia is the one guy that has a very legitimate shot at knocking Hero out. PvP can be a coin flippy matchup. I don't like the term coin flippy, but it can sometimes come down to build order wars.
I feel what it boils down to a lot is momentum that you carry on. If you start off well in the first game, if you might not necessarily get the build order advantage, but just do all the things right, then you can take a little bit more risk in your play in the second game and certainly in the third game as well if you go up 2-0. And that is also important. We are playing best of 5, so build order advantage alone is not going to do it for you. But it is rough. But I had a little chat with Hero already before these games, and Hero said that he was feeling quite confident. On a certain moment he asked me, he's like, hey, maybe you recommend me strategy? I was like, well, Hero, as much as I love to talk about my own play, I don't think this is the right moment for it. Just stick with your own builds and I think you'll be fine.
Well, he's pulled out a couple Roddy builds in the past.
Yeah,
and they haven't failed him yet.
Maybe that's why. I was like, Hero, this is not the moment. Maybe later on in the tournament you're ready, but not now. And he's like, okay, I feel confident.
Hero is such a cool guy. He looks very confident. Just kind of chilling out, relaxing, acting all cool. Playing some StarCraft.
Hero's ready, man. It's been a while. December was that great month for him, but after that, of course, there weren't that many tournaments for a little while because we had the transition into Heart of the Swarm, and he hasn't had a major victory yet. But well, looking at his Pro League performances and looking at the lineup that we have this weekend, I really think it's very possible that this might be Hero's first big win in Heart of the Swarm.
We do know that our first map is going to be Belshire Vestige, Kev, and this is exactly what Hero was talking to you about when you were having that build order conversation with him. What kind of builds can we expect to see out of these two guys on this map?
I think it's really rough. I remember this game that Hero played against Jungby actually on Belshire Vestige as well, which I thought was a great game where Hero likes to open up with 2 gates and he puts on quite a bit of aggression, but he goes Stargate behind this. That is kind of weird because often when people go Stargate in PvP, you try to get it out as quick as possible just in case, like, hey, if it is Stargate against Stargate, if you have more Phoenixes, it's kind of like a ZVZ where one guy has more meters. It's going to be very hard to catch up. But Hero likes to open up aggressively, so he gets a lot of information with his gateway units and then follows it up with Phoenixes. But of course, if your opponent does open up with Blink Stalkers, which is exactly what Jungby did, you're not in a whole lot of trouble, but it's going to be hard to make those Phoenixes pay for himself. However, that game Hero did manage to win, but it was a crazy 30-minute slugfest. And he said like, not sure about Alicia. He's like, I think Alicia aggressive. I was like, yeah, I think so too, Hero, but we will see. So I think Hero is going to play it quite safe, and I think Alicia might play with a little more risk in his play.
All right, Alicia is ready. Hero is ready. I'm going to hit start game, and we're going to get into it. Game number 1, Hero versus Alicia.
Oh, I'm excited, man. It's been a little while.
It's been far too long, Kev. The WCS America Finals. Match 2 starts right now. Belshire Vestige is our map. And we can see right away, spawning the top left-hand corner of that map, the red Protoss player, Liquid Hero.
Looking handsome as always, man.
Looking handsome.
Look at that
calm.
win rate in PvP.
Looking very difficult to beat, 65% against Protoss.
And look at those 2 tournaments we just talked about.
Back-to-back first places. His opponent down in the bottom right-hand corner of the map, the blue Protoss. It's Axiom Alicia.
No, I think how we should call that, Ben? Bitter Dam's Blessing.
You got the Artosis Curse. I think the Roddy Blessing sounds a little bit more...
I mean, also the last tournament I casted in Europe was the Homesteader Cup 6, and that's the one that Snoot won. And Snoot is here as well. And Snoot is on the bottom side of the bracket.
Oh man, could it be a Snoot Hero final? If that happens, then the Roddy Blessing is definitely it's definitely a thing.
And that's one for the books. Gonna keep a close eye on the openings. Of course, we want to make sure that we know exactly when these gateways do go down. Some people like to experiment with crazy early gates every now and then, but it seems like both these guys can play it very standard, at least for now. That is the good old 13 gate ban. That's the most economic way without anything really crazy.
Yes, sir. And the same thing going down on the other side of the map. Now, this can be a volatile matchup. It can sometimes come down to the build orders, Kev. But how much of it is really dictated by these early gateways and the pressure that comes out behind them?
Exactly. As soon as you have units out early on the map, you get so much more information. Of course, if you just say like, hey, I want to open up, let's say, with Phoenixes, and I'm going to make 1 gate, Stargate, and I'm going to sit on my ramp and hope I don't face DTs. And then if you do face against Dark Templars and you lose, then you could say like, hey man, I got so unlucky. Yes, you partly got unlucky, but you also tried absolutely nothing to get some build order or information with your units out early on the map. Now these 2 guys will most likely at least try to put on some aggression, not to necessarily win the game. Certainly not because both of them took very early guesses, but at least try to get some information, try to see, hey, is my opponent opening up with 3 Stalkers or even 5 Stalkers, or is it a Zealot Sentry Mothership Core that's on the other side of the map? You can see Alicia already wiping in his 2nd gate, and I'm kind of expecting Hero to do the same real soon.
Yep, Hero is getting that first Zealot out. It looks like Alicia has skipped that. He's just going to wait and go straight up to some Stalkers.
The 3 Stalker Mothership Core opening is really popular these days, certainly because you can follow it up with 2 additional Stalkers, and then suddenly you have 5 Stalkers in the Mothership Core. And every now and then, Ben, you have one of these situations where you accidentally win the game. It's like, let me see what's going on the other side of the map. It's like, oh, my opponent actually has absolutely nothing. Well, let me just go ahead and walk up the ramp and win.
You're right, and it sounds silly, but it is something that can happen in the instance of your opponent trying to be extra greedy, and it's not because your opponent was bad or even because he made a mistake. It's just because he was trying to cut that little corner, and cutting corners is a big part of winning at the highest level.
Hero's not going for a double gate opening. That is, of course, that he did squeeze that Zealot out early on, as you pointed out. I thought he might still go for a 2nd gate, but that's not going to be the case. He is going to put on a little bit of aggression, or at least fake aggression, but he's going to follow it up with a Stargate, I believe, right? No, that's actually Alicia
dropping the Stargate, so we've got Alicia Stargate going down. Hero looks like he's about to start something. Ooh, it's going to be a Twilight Council. So now, on paper, this is really good for Hero.
I definitely like this for Hero as well. It's going to come down to the scouting information he can get early on. I don't think Alicia is going to commit to his early aggression. As we see, this Mothership Core is going to find that probe, and now this probe already like, of course, we see the entire map, and we know that Alicia has nothing to worry about. He actually has a gateway more than Hero. This is not something that Alicia necessarily knows. He's like, hey, I've got to be really careful. This could be 3-gateway aggression, or in an even crazier scenario, this could be a good old 4-gate.
Yeah, in this case, it's going to be 3-gate blink and an aggressive variation on it. It seems as Hero is continuing to push forward across the map. That mothership core going to just sort of high five Alicia's mothership core as it makes its way through the main, getting a great scout. It's going to see the Stargate.
And even more importantly, he could potentially see that it's an Oracle as well, so he can always keep a couple of Stalkers in his main middle line. This is going to be also important for Hero, because sure, early on this might actually do a lot of damage, but it's not necessarily that. And look at Hero, he's actually gonna sacrifice his Zealot as well. Oh, the Zealot's still gonna be alive. He's actually gonna see the Oracle spawn in case he wasn't sure. Look at the probe. Wow, what a Hero probe.
That is a monster probe. You don't see probes killing Zealots very often. Oracle is out. I like that Hero sacked that Zealot just to confirm that the Oracle wasn't cancelled. And we see a really nice situation here for Liquid Hero as Blink's going to be finishing up in a while. It is a little bit slower now than it was once upon a time, but once it's done, he's going to enjoy a substantial advantage.
Yep, he has a small worker lead as well, and 3 probes might not seem like the biggest deal in the world, but that actually means quite a bit in Stalker Wars, and more importantly, he knows that the Oracle's on the way. He should have enough units by now. Actually, this is a lot of Stalkers by Alicia as well. Hero should drop the Force Field just to make his life a little bit easier. He's going to see this Oracle. Revelation is casted, but this Oracle... for a second I thought it was just going to die straight up. Did Hero like not want to reveal the fact? Okay, Blink is not ready yet.
And Blink wasn't quite done. The Oracle does get away, and Alicia not trying to crash that ramp. So both players just feeling out the other, but neither really committing to any fights or neither really taking any damage. So
can't blame Alicia there though, man. Because if a Force Field does go off and only 2 or 3 Stalkers manage to squeeze up that ramp, he's just going to throw away 3 Stalkers. He might kill that sentry, but that's about it. So I can understand that Alicia didn't really want to commit to this. And Hero right now is in a situation where he's like, hey, I got Blink Stalkers, I know you don't. He actually finds that mothership core in the middle of the map as well. That means no photon overcharge for a little while. Wow, this is actually going to be a little tough for Alicia, because he doesn't have Blink Stalkers, man.
That's right, here comes Hero. He's going to try to get up that ramp. There is energy for a force field, but of course Alicia knows that his opponent can blink. Dark Shrine is Alicia's follow-up. Hero is getting a robo, but he does not have detection. Wow, he's going to have detection in plenty of time, though.
Yep.
Now, those DTs might actually force Hero to go back, but they're not going to end the game.
Ooh, Hero's actually going to try to run up this ramp right now, showing off a little bit of Blink Stalker Micro, but it's not going to be super effective. He doesn't have a crazy amount of Stalkers, and above all, there are quite some Zealots to absorb the damage. On the other side of the map, we see Alicia warping in a couple of Zealots, but Hero is on top of his mini-map awareness and drops the force field right in time.
Yep, even managing to pick up that Oracle. Yes, indeed. So lost a single probe somewhere. I don't even think it was in his main base. I think it was a scout.
Yep.
Zealots not able to make anything happen here on Hero's side of the map, while both players kind of contain the other.
Yeah, I really like how Hero is playing this out so far. He knows that it's going to be hard for Alicia to actually make something happen, because he opened up with a Stargate that dealt no damage. So Blink Stalkers are quite an issue right now. Cute Force Field there as well, zoning out 1 Zealot. These 3 Zealots will be cleaned up, and Hero can expand, and of course he has so much map vision because of the Stalkers on the other side of the map, that right now he knows that he's in absolutely fantastic shape. And right now you can basically ask yourself, if you're Hero, what could I potentially die to?
Look at the Observer timing, comes out right as the DTs try to get in. That Hero actually doesn't notice. He's going to have to turn that Observer around. DTs are up into the main base, doing some damage. At the same time, Stalker's trying to break the ramp of Alicia on the other side of the map. Hero's not microing here either, force feeding the ramp, keeping his opponent out. He's going to be forced to fight. DTs on the other end of the map. How much damage are they going to end up doing? It's hard to say. Stalker's still battling.
Wow. Hero is actually coming out victorious on the bottom side of the map as well, which is really not something I thought that was going to happen early on. He's going to force Alicia back into his main base. Alicia right now in so much trouble, man. He's down basically a base because Hero is going to be up on 2 bases soon. Hero has 7 more probes as well, and above all, Hero has Blink Stalkers, something that Alicia doesn't have. So in a straight-up fight, I don't see how Alicia is ever going to be able to take on Hero.
Superior army, superior economy, and better tech means that Hero is far and away the leader in this game. Alicia is getting his own blink, but it's still not ready. And what do you think he does here, Kev? One final all-in push?
I actually have no idea. He's getting Blink as well, so I guess he's just going to try to make as many Stalkers as possible. He is saving up quite a bit of money. He doesn't have that much gas in the bank, so he might still try to drop the Nexus and go into a very long game, but he's going to have to fight an uphill battle, and Hero is just doing such a good job in keeping units on the other side of the map, giving him all the information he could possibly wish for.
Certainly when he brings his Observer across, he'll be able to do some more of those Blink shenanigans that we know oh so well. Alicia seems to be very mindful of it, positioning his army exception. Oh, actually, it's Alicia trying to be up to no good. Blinks out of his main base, leaves his main exposed. He's going to attempt to cross the map and do some critical damage.
Hero did not see it yet, but this scout, this pylon actually is going to see these stalks on the other side of the map. So Hero right now might blink into the base, and he's just going to try to keep his natural life. Does he still have a mothership core? Yes, he does. So he does have photon overcharge, and with that alone...
He should have seen it, but did he see it, Kev? He's not moving his units back at home.
He should be fine though, as long as he keeps those stalks alive. Photon overcharge, he has an Immortal, he has a couple of Zealots as well. He will be able to soak up so much damage with his little army, and once more Hero has a far superior economy.
Yes, sir, absolutely, you are correct. Here comes Alicia, going to try to bust the Nexus, but with 2 Immortals, a lot of Stalkers and Zealots, and a flanking Stalker force coming up as well. It looks like the writing is on the wall for Alicia. He is going to blink on top of Hero Stalkers and kill a lot of them.
That's actually a really nice pick up. Hero does pick up this pylon, but Alicia picked off a couple of stalks there in the process, but Photon Overcharge is just absolutely fantastic in situations like this. And look at the energy on Mothership Core Ben. As soon as this Photon Overcharge runs out, he's going to have another one. So this is basically impossible to break for Alicia.
And Alicia not even able to try and expand. There's something going on down there in his natural as Hero has left a couple of Zealots and a Stalker behind just to be annoying. Man, so frustrating for Alicia. He's been bested at every possible engagement. And
a big fight in the middle of the map now as well. The Immortals were not really part of this fight yet, but Hero has a superior Stalker count as well, as it seems. There are 15 Stalkers on the map for Hero, only 12 for Alicia. Alicia is going to try to wipe in a couple of additional Zealots and might just think like, okay, it's going to have to happen right here and right now, but it's going to be a very, very tough fight.
It is going to happen right here, right now. Alicia's going to tap out. GG gets called, and Liquid Hero looking fantastic on this first map. Takes Belcher Vestige convincingly. And did not do what he talked about not doing.
Pretty much flawless play from Hero in my opinion. The scout early on with the Mothership Core, this is really high level play. When you open up with only 1 gateway, but you still get the scouting information that you would wish for instance with a double gate. This was everything he ever wished for, man. He had his Twilight Council follow up, so that was a good scenario in any case, but his life became so much easier after he spotted that Stargate. And of course with that additional Zealot, or yeah, it was a Zealot, that very low HP Zealot, he saw the Oracle spawn as well, so Hero was never in a situation where he didn't know there was an Oracle on the map. Sure, if you have Twilight, if you have a Blink Stalker opening against Stargate, that's always a nice scenario, but it can still catch you off guard. If right about the time you want to be aggressive with your Blink Stalkers and you're out on the map and then the Oracle flies in, you're going to be like, oh man, I'm going to have to warp in Stalkers, I'm going to have to pull away my probes. That was never the case. Hero just knew exactly what was going on and played a really solid PvP.
Absolutely key high-level play. I love that he's able to be aggressive with very little, but at the same time reveal his opponent's hand. So Hero goes up 1-0. We're going to jump into a short break. When we get back, it'll be Game 2 on Akalon Wastes.